Hey, this is Paul Acevedo with Windows Central.
And this is David Shaw from Bungie.
So, David, you're working on the PC version of Destiny 2?
I am. So I am the lead of the PC project for Destiny 2.
All right, and how far along is the PC build then?
Have you gotten to play it yet?
Yes, it's really cool.
Well, we're at a point where we're ready to show it. We're very excited about what we've got today. We think it's a very, just an awesome first step. We're going to have a lot more to show and a lot more to talk about later this year.
Nice. Well, can you tell us a little background info specifically about the PC version? Like, when did you guys decide to do one, and how did things progress from there?
Sure, absolutely. So PC, there are tons of people at Bungie are PC gamers. Like, there's a lot of us that have those roots, and so there was always just even this internal pressure that's like, hey, when are we going to bring the game to PC? Additionally, when we launched Destiny 1, I think it's probably not untrue to say everything we've ever posted, the first comment immediately after is, when's it coming to PC? So there's absolutely been a ton of feedback from the players. The thing is, the reason that that it's taken us a while, we wanted to make sure when we did it, when we brought it to PC, that we did it right, and that we came out of the gate strong with an offering that people would love, that they would want to play, and that they wouldn't feel like we had cut corners on. And so that's where we are today.
Destiny was originally designed just for consoles. Destiny 2 is coming to PC. So, what is the difference in scale and also offering a PC version?
So we basically have one game. So you're going to find that the experience that exists on console is the same experience. So the same gunplay, the same investment, the same story, all of that. Where things diverge is kind of around the actual core sandbox gameplay and around the feature set that's available in the game. With Sandbox, actually, let's start with feature set. I think it's a little easier. We basically looked at it and said, okay, what are the features that are really going to say to the PC gamer, we get it, we're with you, we want to support you, and we put together an offering that we think hits the key things. Some of the things that are in there are 4K support, uncapped frame rate, FOV. It's not in the build today, so if you saw it today and you're like, oh, there's no FOV slider, there will be one there, trust me. We're supporting text chat. We're supporting various aspect ratios, including like 21:9 monitors and things like that. And so there's in addition there, you probably looked at the settings screen. There's a ton of knobs and dials you can tune to basically get it to play the way that you want to play it on your machine. On the Sandbox side, there are a bunch of things that we do on consoles, and more specifically on controller, that feel really good. They make things feel heavy. They make things feel like when the guns fire, they feel like they kick, and you really get that immersive feel. And so the challenge we had there was, how do we make an experience that feels like Destiny and plays like a great PC first-person shooter? And so we've gone into a lot of depth with our Sandbox team on things that really need that tweak. Like a couple of examples, on PCs, you expect to be able to rotate your character very, very quickly. Well, on console, we restrict that a little bit, and it makes it feel like you've got weight, like you've got inertia. And so opening that up and letting that work the way you expect it to on the PC was one example. Also on the console, our guns tend to kick a lot. They've got a lot of recoil to them. It really gives that feel. Well, how do you do that same thing on the PC where a really hard kick just translates to you chasing it with your mouse? And so we found models that allow us to modify those systems and still feel really good, still feel normal for all intents and purposes if you've played Destiny. And so we put a ton of work into trying to bring those systems that needed tweaks in line in a way that makes it feel great on PC.
And despite all of this optimization for mouse and keyboard, the PC version also supports controllers?
Absolutely.
And so when you plug in a controller, then do you work under those PC limits, or does it feel the same as when on console?
We do a lot of dynamic switching of things between mouse and keyboard and controller. We're not going into depth on that today, but our goal is to provide a great experience regardless of how you choose to play.
Nice. So have you guys said anything about the target minimum hardware, anything like that?
We're not announcing anything today, but the thing I think I can safely say is that we are absolutely enthusiastic about bringing the game to as many people as possible. And so the rigs we've got on the floor today are monsters. They've got 1080 Ti's in them, and they've got i7 7700Ks running at 4.2 gigahertz. Our friends at NVIDIA and Intel have been awesome, but you will not need a machine anywhere near that spec to have a great experience playing Destiny. And again, we're not announcing anything, but we will later in the year.
also, you're going to be selling this game exclusively on Battle.net. Can you speak a little about that?
Yeah, sure. The reality of it, a lot of people have asked, like, oh, how did that come about? I mean, it starts with the fact that there's a ton of people at Bungie that have a huge love for Blizzard and Blizzard games. Myself, I started with Diablo and Warcraft 3. At home, I still have on a shelf my Diablo 2 Collector's Edition. I've also got all 3 of the action figures that came out at that time. They're still new in the box. Like, there's a ton of us that just have a huge love for Blizzard. And so when the conversations started and people were like, hey, is this something that would be interesting? Like, we were like, yeah, if Blizzard wants to do it, we'd love to do it. We started talking about the logistics of it, and here we are. It's a great opportunity. When they gave us, when the chance came about and we were like, hey, does this make sense? We thought it was a great fit for the game. Blizzard's quality bar and their experiences that they craft for their players, we think that in many ways they mirror our own. And so as far as like culture and fit of the game, we thought it was just an awesome opportunity, and we definitely jumped at the chance.
To ask you just kind of a general Destiny-related question, the first game wasn't available for PC gamers, but now Part 2 will be. So is Destiny 2 designed to be welcoming to completely brand new players who had no way to play before?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you saw in the keynote this morning, it's a clean slate. All Guardians are equal now. Everybody loses their light the same way. So whether you're a new player or whether you're a veteran, this is the perfect time to play Destiny. We've really gone out of our way to make sure that feeling of like, oh, am I going to be behind? Nope, you won't be behind at all. Come in, come play. This is a great time to join.
And are the matchmaking features going to be the same between PC and consoles, I assume?
We will actually have the same matchmaking feature set on PC that we have on the consoles. We believe that we've put tons of investment there, even since Destiny 1, to make that a great experience. And so we're not planning on supporting dedicated servers for Destiny 2.
Okay, and can you tell us a little about the clans feature? That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So clans exist today, but clans are mostly they're managed through Bungie.net. And so we use that, and in-game it's largely just like a moniker. You see there's this additional note that I'm in, one clan and you're in another clan. With Destiny 2, we're actually bringing those far more in-game. You'll be able to see clan banners, mottos, things like that. And really where I think clans make the most difference is relative to guided games. Because having a clan that if you've got a whole mess of people and you can always get a set of players together to run a raid or do trials or whatever, that's great. I play in a clan, but my clan is relatively small. It's a group of folks that all know each other more or less, and we're on 2 coasts. And so we're kind of like time zones can be a problem, and a lot of us have busy lives, and so getting 6 people together at the drop of a hat, or even with some planning, can be challenging at times. So for us, I think it's a huge opportunity because we can get 4 together pretty easily, and then using something like guided games as a way to say, hey, this is our clan, this is who we are. Maybe we just provide somebody with a great experience going through a raid for the first time, and maybe some of those people say, hey, you know what, you guys were great to play with. I'd love to play with you more, and hopefully over time we build a strong, a bigger group of players that have a like mindset and like to play like we do.
Okay, well, I understand that Destiny 2 also has a greater focus on story. Can you tell us a little about the campaign?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we were talking about that this is a great new time for players to come in, because the story is essentially that the Guardians are powerful and there's never been anybody who's been able to stand in their way before, and all of a sudden they're attacked by Dominus Ghaul and his Red Legion. Dominus Ghaul is kind of the hero of his own story. He thinks that the light should belong to him. He's on a quest, to make that happen. And so, like Luke said in the video, we're just in his way. And so, the story starts with this tremendous loss where Guardians lose not only their home but their powers, and they're weakened and they're down. They just like get the crap kicked out of them, for lack of a better term. And it turns from the story of loss into this story of recovery. And how do we get back our former glory? How do we get back and defeat the villain, the true villain, in a complicated one, because again, he thinks he's his own hero. How do we defeat him, and how do we get back to our how do we get our home back? How do we get our light back? It's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat story.
Well, thanks very much for telling us about Destiny 2, man.
You're very welcome. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Okay, guys, we appreciate you watching our video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, and whatever you do, don't hate, appreciate.